Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bug Discussions podcast, the channel, man. Yo, whatever you want to call it, it is the man J Coop back for another episode of J Coops Clips. And in this episode, man, we got to talk about this Los Angeles Clippers game versus the Houston Rockets that took place last night on March 6th. And the Clippers ended up coming back down from 20 points to win this game by 8 points, 122 to 114 against the Houston Rockets. Now, I know I didn't talk about the two previous games that they had before, against the Milwaukee Bucks and the Minnesota Timberwolves, which was a very, very bittersweet back-to-back. They ended up beating the number one seed in the Western Conference in the Minnesota Timberwolves, 88 to 89, a very, very highly defensive game that they played that game, and then losing a very, very tough one where they were up by 15 the next day against the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, you know, they had to go get a bounce-back game against the Houston Rockets, but it obviously didn't start off too pretty when they were down 30 to 50 early. It was sometime in the second quarter that score was there, but they ended up coming back, like I said, and winning this game by 8 points. So I'm about ready to talk about it, man. Let's get into the first quarter. So at the beginning of the game, man, like I said, this was a very, very big bounce back game for the Los Angeles Clippers after blowing a 15-point lead to the Giannis' Milwaukee Bucks. So, you know, this was a must win for, you know, all my Clipper fans out there. This was a must win. You know what I'm saying? Imagine losing to the Rockets, losing in the fashion we did against the Bucks, and having to wait till Saturday to when they play the Bulls again. So, yeah, man, to me, this was a must win. It got the Clippers their 40th win of the season. They're currently 40 and 21, so they have a decent record. They're still fourth in the West, man, so we got a long season to go. But early in the first quarter, man, it was a different look that we were seeing from the Clippers. They were actually, you know, making sure that they got Zubac the ball early in the first, just trying to get him involved in the offense. He got the ball 3 times the first time. It was poked away by the dude who was guarding him. I forgot who it was. It might have been Alperen Sengun who hit the ball away from him, but the next 2 times, I actually don't know if he scored on any of those possessions. I kind of forgot. I don't think he did, actually. I believe one shot was pretty heavily contested that he missed, and then another shot he just missed. You know what I'm saying, at the rim. But they, like I said, they were trying to get Zubac involved early in the first, which, you know, I kind of like to see, even though I'm not the biggest Zubac fan, but I think it keeps the defense honest, keeping everyone in the offense. You know what I'm saying? Not James Harden. I mean, not just James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi. So it was good that, you know, they were trying to spread the wealth. But speaking of that, man, Terrence Mann was the first Clipper with a bucket in this game. He had just a decent layup, you know what I'm saying? But he got the scoring kicked off for the Los Angeles Clippers in this game. But, yeah, man, around the 6:53 mark is when Kawhi Leonard got his first bucket. I believe it was a 2 to put the score 9-10 in favor of the Houston Rockets. So we were still down. Like I said, we were down pretty much the whole entire game until like late in the fourth. But we kept it close throughout the third quarter when they ended up scoring the most points in the third and fourth quarter, I do believe. So, yeah, man, it was a pretty rough first half for the Clippers. But, yeah, the Clippers' first time out was a little bit after that Kawhi first bucket, around the 6:53 mark. It was around the 6:35 mark when the Clippers called their first timeout after a Jabari Smith three-pointer that put the Houston Rockets up 4 points, 9-13. So early in the first, man, that's when the Clippers called their first timeout, because the Rockets, they just looked a lot younger in this game, man. That's pretty much the whole like rhythm of this game, man. And honestly, against any young team we play, we just look old. You know what I'm saying? We look just a step slower out there than these young teams. You know what I'm saying? I do expect it to pick up later on, especially closer to the playoff time. But for right now, man, I'll tell you what, having your 3 best players be in their mid-30s, really, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's tough when you're going against these young, athletic teams. But as we were going into the second quarter, the Clippers happened to be down by 8 points at the end of the first quarter, man. They were down 27-19 in favor of the Houston Rockets. So like I said, they were just running the ball up and down the court all night. Cam Whitmore was excellent for the Houston Rockets. I believe he had like 12 points in the first half alone. So he was running up and down the court. He had a nice windmill dunk. You know what I'm saying? He was hooping out there. Cam Whitmore is a real player. I really do like Cam Whitmore. Matter of fact, he might be one of my favorite players on the Houston Rockets. I'm not gonna lie, I just like his game. But yeah, man, first possession out of the first quarter, man, the Clippers get the ball because they lost the tip. But Amir Coffey, man, they had the ball. He was in the mid post. He was trying to get a little basket, but the ref said he traveled, so we had a turnover first thing out of the first quarter. So that's something you don't really like to see. But after that, man, the Clippers went on a little bit of a scoring run, scoring 6 points to the Houston Rockets 2 points. So they were doing their thing, man. But right after that, man, that's when the Houston Rockets got their 6 points back and scored 6 straight points to put the score 25-36 in favor of the Houston Rockets. So the Rockets, like I said, it was pretty much the same theme all game. Just, get downhill, try to find guys out on the perimeter if they're open as you're attacking the basket, and that's really what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? I forgot how many threes they had in the first half, but like I said, they was getting to the basket, just creating space and creating good shots in multiple types of ways. So yeah, man. But after the Houston Rockets scored 6 straight in the second quarter, man, they were up 25-36. So 11-point deficit that the Clippers had to come back from at this point. It just was not looking that great, man, especially the way that they were playing. It was just very, very unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? But even after that, the Houston Rockets scored another 4 points straight to put us down 14. So it just kept getting worse, you know what I'm saying? It just kept getting worse. But I do think in between that time of them getting those 2 buckets, again, someone was shooting free throws, but they missed one of them. I believe it was Mason Plumlee. So it was 40-26 at this point, kind of early-ish in the second quarter. But yeah, man. But like I said, around the 5:56 mark is when the Houston Rockets were declared that they just went on a 17-3 run against the Los Angeles Clippers. So it just was not looking good. And just 40 seconds later at the 5:10 mark, that's when the Clippers ended up going down by 20 points. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, we were down, early in the game. It was the second quarter, but we were down 50-30 points. So it just was not looking good, like I said, at this time. Houston, they just continued to get downhill the whole entire first half. They were just making our guys look old, look a little bit weak out there. And I will say, Zubac, man, he didn't really have the best game in the first half. And that kind of hints why they didn't even start him. The second half, due to, I think it was just, he was sick recently, so he was having trouble breathing and stuff. So they just said, screw that, we're just going to sit Zubac the second half, which, I mean, I agree with, man. You got to get your rest first. So shout out Zubac, man. Hopefully he gets better. But yeah, man. But at halftime, man, the Houston Rockets were just running the ball down our throat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie. But the score only happened to be down, cut to 13. So like I said, the Clippers were down 50-30, a 20-point lead by the Houston Rockets. But before the halftime, I should say, the Clippers got it within 13. It was 44-57 in favor of the Houston Rockets. But like I said, their guys were hooping, man. This man, Alperen Sengun, had a career high in rebounds in the first half for him. He had 13 boards along with 9 points, 6 assists, and he was shooting 4 of 9 from the field. So Alperen Sengun, bro, he is going to be a real problem in a couple years if he isn't already. So, hey, man, we're going to have to keep an eye out on this man's development because he has been hooping. The night before this, man, he just dropped 45 points on Victor Wembanyama, arguably one of the best defensive players in the game already. So, yeah, man, Sengun, he's a problem. But I will say Cam Whitmore, like I said earlier, he was hooping. He had 12 of his 17 points in the first half. He had 12 points. He was shooting 5 of 10 from the field, and he was shooting 2 of 5 from the three-point line. So he was really doing his thing. And Jalen Green was 7 points, 2 rebounds, and shooting 3 of 8 from the field. You know what I'm saying? But as for the Clippers, man, Kawhi Leonard, he was getting stuff kicked off. You know what I'm saying? He had 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 5 of 9 from the field. And then you also had James Harden with 10 points, 4 rebounds, just 1 assist, which was a little bit surprising when I seen that. I was like, damn, I figured he would have had more assists, at the halftime, but I guess not, you know what I'm saying? But he was shooting 50% from the field, so you can't really complain. But Paul George is the guy we got to talk about in the first half. He just looked horrendous, man. He was shooting 1 of 6 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3. So another game that Paul George just does not look good. And I'm really not sure why. I don't know if it's mental or if he still has some sort of nagging injury, whether that be his knee or his groin. But either way, man, he just needs to sit the hell down and just take care of him goddamn self, because this shit's getting annoying. He only had 2 points at the half with 4 rebounds. Like I said, shooting 1 of 6 from the field. But he did, end up picking it up later in the second half, which you like to see. But still, it's like, damn, why the hell does it take you this long to get, just engaged into the offense? You know what I'm saying? So it was a little bit frustrating to see, but other than that, he finished out the game pretty strong, so I can't complain. But the Clippers were shooting 43% at the half compared to the Houston Rockets 45% from the field, and then the Clippers were shooting 25% from 3 while the Houston Rockets were shooting 43% from three. And we also were losing the rebound battle, but not by much though. It was 25 rebounds to our 20 rebounds. But I will say the Houston Rockets had 7 offensive rebounds at the half, so that's kind of a problem for us because that's just more second chance points, you know what I'm saying? More second chance points for a young athletic team that you already know is trying to get to the basket, so we got to just clean that up. But going into the second half, man, like I said, Ivica Zubac was not the starter, you know, for the Clippers, you know what I'm saying, going into the second half. They actually had Mason Plumlee starting at the 5 going into the half, which I thought was honestly this was a decent matchup for Mason Plumlee. He's a pretty big athletic guy, you know what I'm saying, compared to Zubac, who's tall, who's really good defensively, but he just doesn't have that, you know, that mobility that Mason Plumlee has, even though Mason Plumlee still kind of looks like really slow depending on who we match up against. But this was a good matchup, you know what I'm saying? Alperen Sengun, even though Alperen Sengun was fucking him up, I'm not gonna lie, but other than that, Mason Plumlee was all right defensively. He had a couple alley-oops that he was doing, so I'm not too mad at him starting over Zubac or even Daniel Tice to start the second half, so it is what it is. But yeah, man, I will say PG got his second field goal at the 11-minute mark in the third quarter, man. He just hit a 2, but it put the score 46-60. So like I said, we were in within 14 after being down 20. So you like to see that. But Terrence Mann, right after that, hit a 3 to make an 11-point game. You know what I'm saying? So it was 49-60, excuse me, in favor of the Houston Rockets. So yeah, man, it was still a very, very tall mountain to climb at this point, but they were doing their thing. But the Clippers ended up going on a 7-3 run to bring the game within 9 points. It was 51-60. So the Clippers were, you know, this was their best half of the game. They definitely stepped up the second half, and you could just tell within the first couple minutes of the third quarter, you know what I'm saying? So that's really what you like to see. But yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. I'm not going to lie that the fact that we were even down this much to begin with against the Houston Rockets. Don't get me wrong, they got good players, but damn, it kind of baffled me. But to end the third quarter, man, the Clippers ended up having their second highest scored quarter this game with 36 points. And then the Houston Rockets only scoring 29 points in the third quarter alone. So, yeah, man, they kind of just, I don't want to say cold, but they definitely weren't as hot as they were in the first half, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, but to end the third quarter, Paul George actually ended up scoring 10 points. I don't know if it was in that quarter alone. I don't think it was, but he ended up having 10 points at the end of the third quarter. So like I said, he had 2 points at the halftime, so he definitely stepped it up, to say the least, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it was the first quarter that the Clippers actually won this game, so you really do like to see that, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the third, the Clippers were only down 6, you know what I'm saying? They were down 80-86 in favor of the Rockets. So like I said, we had a tall mountain to climb. Now we're climbing up it, and they were just trying their best to get this dub. You know what I'm saying? But the Houston, man, they opened up the fourth quarter on a 6-2 run. So right after I gave the Clippers praise for only being down 6, man, they just let up another 6 points. You know what I'm saying? It was a 6-2 run. It was 92-82. So yeah, man, like I said, we were just looking very, very slow, it seemed like, but I mean, they ended up getting the job done later on. But still, I'm just saying, within the game when I was watching, I was just like, damn, we just look so old and slow. It's ridiculous. But yeah, man. But later on, around the 10:30 mark in the fourth quarter, man, Dylan Brooks ended up fouling James Harden on a 3-point attempt that didn't go in. So James Harden got 3 free throws to put the score 85-92. So at this point, we were only down 7 points. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's really what you like to see right there. But just even later on, man, the Clippers, man, they were only down 3 after, I want to say, a PG 3-pointer in the corner. I do believe it might have been somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure it was in the corner. It was 94-99 at this point in favor of the Houston Rockets, so we were only down 5. Like I said, man, we were slowly coming back as the Clippers, man, they just kept going on a scoring run. But even after that, man, we got the game within 3 points after a Mason Plumlee dunk. It was 96-99, so a 3-point game, still in favor of the Houston Rockets. But I mean, it was, you know what I'm saying, this was better than being down 20, I'll say that, you know what I'm saying. But then around the 6-minute mark, Kawhi hits a 3-pointer to put the score 99-101 because the Houston Rockets ended up scoring a bucket in that time, you know what I'm saying. So I forgot who it was. I want to say it was Fred VanVleet, I believe, a mid-range, if I'm not mistaken. But then this man, Sengun, comes back down the court, hits a jump hook over, I believe, Mason Plumlee, and that put the score, we were down by 4 points. It was 99-103, you know what I'm saying? So we were still down late in the fourth, but Kawhi, man, he took it upon himself to go crazy, man. Kawhi hit a mid-range to tie the game, you know what I'm saying? He was just doing his goddamn thing, I'm not going to lie, at 108 apiece. So Kawhi, I believe he was fouled on that mid-range too, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? He hit it was an and one. I forgot who fouled him. I want to say it was Dylan Brooks, if I'm not mistaken, that fouled him on a mid-range to put. So we were tied up at this point with about 3 minutes left, or about 4 minutes left, I should say, 108-108. You know what I'm saying? But then, man, Paul George got us our first lead in the fourth quarter, man. He hit a three to put us up 111-109. You know what I'm saying? So that was, like I said, PG was struggling all game, but he came through and hit some of the biggest shots of the game. So that's really what you like to see. And then, actually, I misspoke earlier. Kawhi didn't get fouled on that mid-range shot. He got fouled at this mid-range shot with about 2 minutes left. He hits an and one from almost the top of the key. But anyway, he hit the free throw, right? He hit the free throw, so we got a 3-point play on that. So Kawhi, man, he was just going crazy, just getting to his spot. You know what I'm saying? But then, man, right after Kawhi hit that and one, man, it was super tough because Jamari Smith, he came down and the Clippers just left him wide open for three, since he hasn't really been shooting the best from three this season, but he was this game, I'll tell you that much. He was shooting this bitch, you know what I'm saying? So Jabari Smith knocked down that three to put the score within 2 after we just went up by 5, you know what I'm saying? So we were doing our thing, but Jabari Smith was not trying to lose this game. So he hit that clutch three, you know what I'm saying, to put the score within 2. Then directly after that, man, that's when the Houston Rockets went to hack a Plumlee, which I kind of didn't understand, because I know Mason Plumlee isn't the best three-point shooter, but he isn't the worst three-point shooter. You know what I'm saying? I believe he knocked one of those down, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I actually kind of forgot. He might have missed both of them. But either way, man, we ended up winning this game. It was very clutch, you know what I'm saying? But around the 48-second mark, this pretty much sealed the game, because PG was fouled by Şengün on a drive to the basket. And then he went to the free throw line, knocked down those baskets, and also the Houston Rockets got a technical foul on this possession. And I'm not really sure who was on, but they had a tech, so we got 3 free throws in this scenario, which is what you like to see, man. And like I said, Clippers ended up winning this game 122-116. And like I said, it was a close game. This isn't probably the most ideal game you would like to come back from down 20. But, I mean, you can't complain. They got the job done. They got the W. So, you know, I'm not going to sit here and complain about the Clippers winning a basketball game. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never going to hear that from me. You know what I'm saying about a win. But if they lost this game, then we would have been having a different discussion. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck are you down 20 to the Houston Rockets? That is just not acceptable, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, they got the dub 122-116. But to read off some of these stats that these guys had, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of these guys were hooping. But to start off with the Houston Rockets, man, Alperen Şengün had a game of his life, you know what I'm saying? Now, he didn't go crazy in the scoring department, and I will say Alperen Şengün is a triple-double machine, especially for being this young, but he had 23 points, 19 rebounds. Let me say that again, 19 rebounds, 1-9 with 14 assists, shooting 10 of 19 from the field. So Alperen Şengün, man, he's just as good as it gets. You know what I'm saying? He's like a mini Jokic, basically. And I know like that comparison's been thrown around a lot, but that's really who he plays like, basically. I'm not even going to lie. And then you had Jabari Smith, who made 4 out of 6 threes. Like I said earlier, he was lighting shit up in this game. I know he isn't the best three-point shooter yet, but he obviously has the capability of knocking them down at a high clip, you know what I'm saying? But he finished the game with 19 points, 2 rebounds, shooting 6-11 from the field, and like I said, 4 of 6 from 3. So shout out to Jabari, man. He was doing his thing. Then you also had Jalen Green, who had an all-right game, you know what I'm saying? He had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Shooting 6 of 14 from the field and 2 of 6 from the 3. And then, like I said, Cam Whitmore with 12 of his 17 points in the first half, but he finished with 17, 2 rebounds, shooting 7 of 15 from the field and 3 of 7 from the three-point line. You know what I'm saying? But as for Kawhi Leonard, the man who got the job done for the Los Angeles Clippers, man, he had a 28-point game, with 6 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 11 of 8 from the field, and 1 of 4 from 3. So, man, Kawhi, just a bucket, you know what I'm saying? There's not really much I could even say about him. He's doing what he's supposed to. And James Harden had a 21-point game, you know what I'm saying, with 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and shooting 6 of 13 from the field, but he was struggling from the 3-point line, shooting only 1 of 5 from the 3-point line. And then Paul George, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 4 of 9 from 3. So he was struggling too a little bit, but like I said, he ended up making up for it later down the line in this game because we needed him down the stretch badly. And then you had Terrence Mann for the Clippers. He had 15 points, 2 rebounds, shooting 5 of 5 from the field and 3 of 3 from the 3-point line. So shout out to Terrence Mann, probably one of my favorite players on the Clippers, to be honest. And he just played his role perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Had 15 points, didn't miss a shot the whole night. Just playing his role, bro. That's, you know, I just love Terrence Mann. I love guys like that. But as for the teams themselves, man, the Clippers shot 55% from the field compared to the 48% by the Houston Rockets. And then the 3-point percentage, man, it was pretty damn near dead even. Clippers were shooting 41% compared to the Houston Rockets 43%. And then the rebounding battle. We actually ended up winning the rebounding battle total at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? We had 41 rebounds, 8 offensive, and then they had 38 rebounds. But listen to this, man. They had 13 offensive rebounds, which is just something we got to be better at, bro. We can't be giving these teams second chance points, you know what I'm saying? But another thing that caught my eye was the assist. You know what I'm saying? The total assist for both teams. The Houston Rockets, man, they just played a lot more of a complete game, I will say, when it comes to like a team aspect. They had 33 assists throughout the whole team, but the Clippers only had 19, which, to be fair to the Clippers, this kind of does make sense just due to the fact that we have 3, you know, highly efficient ISO scorers. So, I mean, you know, it's just, yeah, I mean, that pretty much explains, you know, that just having a lot of ISO scoring on the team. But like I said, this is a good win for the Los Angeles Clippers, and I do believe the Clippers are 7-0 when all 3, you know, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden all have 20 plus points, I do believe. So they're undefeated when they all have 20 plus points, which is like to see. But yeah, man, like I said, a 122-116 victory for the Los Angeles Clippers, a must win for the Los Angeles Clippers after losing a very, very disappointing game to the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis. So it was good they got this bounce back win. But like I said, man, they play the Milwaukee Bucks again this upcoming week and the Minnesota Timberwolves on a back-to-back, if I am not mistaken. So the Clippers have a lot of work cut out for them in the month of March, right before the playoffs. So man, we just got to buckle up and get through it. You know what I'm saying? Just got to stay healthy throughout the playoffs, man. But this pretty much does wrap up this episode of J Coops Clips, man. If y'all found it useful, informational in any type of way, or just found it entertaining, make sure you hit it with a thumbs up, man. We really do appreciate it. And if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm always dropping weekly videos on the Los Angeles Clippers and other basketball topics. So yeah, man. Till next time, y'all. Peace out.
In the jungle like I'm Conan, kind of with both hands. Switch the flow like it was broken. I'm on the road, man, making plays just like DeRozan. I shoot my shot, and that shit wetter than the ocean. I brag a lot, but with the wind and come the boats in. I made a lot from them apartments that I sold, and he ain't make it up to college. So them streets where he enrolled in. I know I'm a scholar from the moments that I was exposed in.